The National Coronavirus Command Council has decided to enforce a nationwide lockdown.
I want to punch you right in your dumb face right now.
We want to fight bad guys. It defines who I am.
I'm gonna have to get dirty.
Oh, no, that's personal. Come on, honey, let's just keep it fun. Thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine. We're fine.
There's no, like, real magic in the world, right?
What do you mean? Snowy, look at this.
When I wake up in the morning, love.
This way?
Hey, look, if I was drunk, would I be able to do this?
Fuck you. Thought it might be too much.
Are you gonna walk me home or what?
Good question.
Wrong answer.
She's right there. You're not gonna do anything?
What are you, an idiot?
Don't call me an idiot, Dixon!
I didn't call you an idiot. I asked if you was an idiot.
This is breaking and entering!
We haven't broken anything.
Well, that's just great!
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
It's actually quite good fun.
Yes.
That's it, we've run out of options. Just pretend to be dead. I'll be here.
Oh my God, please help me.
You know this is pathetic, right?
I'm just going round and round in circles.
Take your hands off my lobby boy!
Have you lost your mind? No, ma'am. But you about to.
Hello to everyone. Sadly, and due to the COVID pandemic, it's once again through this video that I will present this third chapter of the Dakar in the Middle East, 44th edition overall. But before we start, let's jump into the universe of the Dakar. This 2021 Dakar was complicated to organize. In the middle of the COVID pandemic, the Dakar was one of the few major events that was held at the beginning of the year. All that thanks to Saudi Arabia, to all the Saudis who were mobilized with us so that the Dakar could happen. This Dakar allowed you to discover new tracks, new deserts, new dunes, and all that gave quite an incredible show. Suspense in the bike race until the last days, when we didn't know who would win. In the car race as well, until 2 or 3 stages from the finish, it was very tight. And of course, in the truck race. 2,300 hours of TV were broadcasted in over 190 countries. 4.5 million fans also followed us on social media. And to conclude this 2021 edition, let's take a look back at the best moments.
Dakar's really tough, really difficult navigation, and you need to stay super focused, super focused, super focused.
Il faut rien lâcher, chaque seconde, chaque minute est importante. Ne pas faire d'erreur du tout, c'est quasiment impossible, mais surtout il ne faut pas faire de grosses erreurs.
This is Dakar. You need 10,000 kilometers to win the race, and you need 1 kilometer to end it. So, you can try to repair.
Yeah, for sure, I'll try. Cause now we're reaching up to the sky. Yeah, now we're reaching up to the sky. Cause now we're reaching up to the sky. And it feels so good, I can touch the sky. Cause now we're reaching up to the sky. Way up. Yeah, now we're reaching up to the sky. Way up. Cause now we're reaching up to the sky. And it feels so good, I can touch the sky.
La course est finie maintenant, donc on attend le camion, on n'a pas ce qu'il faut pour réparer.
Normalement, tu peux pas le faire.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't ride in the dark. I can't use the main track. I'm crisscrossing all over the place. Where's the main track anywhere? Here, somewhere. Terrible. I think it's really shit to be riding in the dark.
C'était vraiment très très dur, j'ai fait des chutes, j'ai une entorse du pouce. Mais je voulais pas abandonner pour ça, alors j'ai mis un strap et puis on a continué.
Il a aidé 2-3 fois à relever sa moto, etc. Et on a fini ensemble, quoi. Histoire de garder un peu l'esprit Dakar.
I can't believe we have so many riders for 21.
Allez, Sara, dale fuerza.
Regarde-moi ces paysages, bon Dieu.
C'est extraordinaire.
And to finish, I'd like to thank the faithful partners of the Dakar. Without them, nothing would be possible. Partners of the Dakar, of course, and also of the Dakar Classic. The Dakar Classic born last January for its first edition. We wanted to pay a tribute to the pioneers of the Dakar, to its founder, Thierry Sabine. It was a way for us all to see these cars that made us dream in the 80s and in the 90s.
87, l'année où il s'est cassé les chevilles.
La Titine, 52 ans. Presque aussi vieille que nous.
It's like I'm driving Beyoncé.
Hace 40 años este modelo fue el vencedor, el primero que ganó la categoría de auto.
It's a good game. If someone say it's not real Dakar, he can sit like a pilot. If you make one mistake, after it's fast.
Per noi questa è la Dakar classica.
La nostra vittoria sarà arrivare a Jeddah.
Certo, certo.
C'était magique. Avec nos vieilles voitures, c'était magique.
So to the second edition of this Dakar Classic. It'll have the same ingredients as the first, with some novelties, however. The first one concerns the speeds in this regularity race. You'll have 3 choices of speed: the low, medium and fast. The bivouacs will, of course, remain the same as those of the Dakar. The other novelty will be navigation that appears on the Dakar Classic. On some sections, you'll need to use the most direct way to go from one point to another. We'll make things harder, and that will of course have an impact on the daily standings and the final overall. Also, but that doesn't concern the standings, we'll also give you the opportunity to go and have fun in the dunes. All that is of course based on the capacities of your vehicles. So that's what awaits for the future edition of the Dakar Classic. I can already tell you that we have already close to 60 crews waiting to take part, so an edition that promises to be fantastic. It's now time to focus on the 2022 edition, and it's now time to discover the main lines of this course.
De ce parcours.
So there you have it, this edition of the 2022 Dakar. An edition with a taste of sand, with a taste of dunes and wide open spaces. As you might have seen, we'll head south to the empty quarter. We had our first little taste in 2020, but this time we'll go deep down in it, in the empty quarter and its ocean of dunes. But before all that, we'll all gather together in Jeddah, where the boat arrives. We'll unload the vehicles. Some of you will come to collect the vehicles to go up to Hale. Hale will be the start city of this 2022 edition, where all the technical and administrative scrutineering will take place, as well as the shakedowns. This year we'll have 3 for the 3 classes, bikes, cars and trucks, then a prologue on the 1st, and the real start of this Dakar will be on the 2nd of January in the morning, and we'll head south towards the empty quarter. We'll have 3 stages with 100% sand and dunes, including a marathon stage in the middle of the dunes, like in the good old days. And then comes a novelty. We'll go up to Riyadh for a rest day. Riyadh is the capital of Saudi Arabia. But during that rest day, there'll be a transfer of the vehicles that will be put on trucks and transfer of competitors in planes. Then we take on week 2, a second week, not to neglect, with 4 rather difficult stages, a lot of navigation, more dunes. You'll have understood that we mainly base this Dakar on sand and dunes. Then once you've gone through all these obstacles, you'll arrive in the city of Jeddah that will welcome the podium ceremony before the vehicles board the ship to head back to Europe. So that's what's on the menu of this Dakar. A lot of tracks, new ones, 80% of new ones, 2 loops that will give an opportunity to assistant crews to settle. And let's now hear the message of His Royal Highness Prince Khalid bin Sultan Al Abdullah Al Faisal, President of the Saudi Automobile and Motorcycle Federation.
Ladies and gentlemen, may peace, mercy, and the blessing of God be upon you. Welcome to the 3rd time to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the home of the Dakar Rally, the most famous and toughest rally in the world. Thanks first and foremost to our wise leadership and the guidance of His Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz and the goal of his Vision 2030. The Kingdom was able to attract and host the Dakar Rally for the first time in 2020, after many years when it moved between Africa and South America. Today, as we edge closer to hosting the rally for the 3rd successive year, our focus is fixed on the future, as we call upon the extensive experience we have gained over the last 2 years to arrange another exciting edition of the Dakar Rally. We are blessed with magnificent landscape that few countries can rival. This varied and challenging terrain is the perfect location for the Dakar Rally. One of the most special things about the Dakar Rally is that it introduces visitors and spectators alike to the true essence of our nation, with its tolerant culture, rich heritage, striking landscape, and welcoming people. We hope that Dakar Rally 2022 meets the expectation of motorsport fans around the world. We look forward to welcome you once again to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the home of the Dakar Rally.
Alors après le parcours,
now after the course, let's take a look at the novelties of this 2022 edition. First of all, it's not really a novelty, it's the electronic road book. It's going to spread to most categories, the car class, the SSV class and the trucks. And it will also appear in the bike class for all the elite riders of this edition, and it'll concern everyone in 2023. All the competitors of the Dakar will be equipped. Then we have the airbag. We've carried on working on the safety of bikers. We'll carry on working on the airbags we used last year, thanks to the help of the International Motorcycle Federation, as well as the designers to improve it. And it will, of course, be present on the next Dakar. Now we're going to talk about the technical aspects. In the T1 class appears a new category called T1 Plus. It concerns the vehicles that we knew up to now, the T1 4x4, that will be allowed to be wider, 2 meters 30, to have big dimension tires, 37 inches, and will have access to bigger travel, 350 millimeters. These cars that will have better chassis will see their engine performance slightly diminished so that we can keep a good balance of performance between all cars. Then we have T3. That will change a little, with the possibility to have a gearbox with a wider flange, plus 2 millimeters, and their speed will go from 130 to 140 kilometers an hour. A class that won't evolve that much is the T4, the SSV class, those production vehicles that allow competitors to have an easier access to the Dakar. So you'll notice that we have three major classes, the famous T4 SSV production vehicles that are modified, of course, the prototype lightweight T3 vehicles, and of course the T1, which is the Queen category. The T1 CAT also sees the arrival of a new class, the T1E, E for New Energies, electric. We had already presented it during the last Dakar. It's the new strategy of Rally Raid now. Indeed, the FIA has been working with us on these new energies. As soon as 2026, all the competitors of the elite lists in cars and trucks will be concerned and will have to compete in these vehicles. And then it'll concern all the competitors in 2030. But as soon as now we've set up the category, we'll welcome all the competitors with new projects, and of course the first one is Audi, that will be with us for the start of the next Dakar. The trucks as well will have their proper new energy class, and there are already a lot of projects. The regulations for trucks evolves as well and was done with the FIA and will be applied as soon as the Dakar 2022. Now we're going to talk about the important dates to come between today and the start of the Dakar. First date is May the 17th, with the opening of registrations that ends at the end of October. At the end of November, there'll be a conference to present all the course stage by stage with the details and kilometers. Second week of December, a first rendezvous at the Marseille harbour to go on board. We'll then meet on December the 26th, 27th and 28th at the Jeddah harbour to collect the vehicles and head to Hale. Then on December the 31st and January the 1st, we'll have all scrutineering. January the 1st on the afternoon, the prologue, and on the 2nd in the morning, the start of stage 1. And now to finish, I'd like to talk about the road to Dakar. The idea is to help and accompany the competitors who have never done off-road rallies towards the Dakar. For that, you have to go step by step. The Andalusia rally is a first step. We'll have over 40 competitors who come to discover the rally to later do the Dakar. It can then be at the Morocco rally for those who struggled to carry on learning and gain experience, to then one day come on the Dakar. The road to Dakar is also a possibility to win your registration for the Dakar thanks to performances on several events. Andalusia, of course, in a few days. Also, the Sonora Rally in Mexico, and we have two events in South Africa, one for the bikers and one for the SSVs. And finally, the Morocco Rally, where you can get your last ticket to participate in the Dakar. So there's the will from the teams at ASO to be with the competitors, to train them and explain all that needs to be known about rally raids so that these competitors can come in the best conditions on the Dakar. So you now know more about this edition of the 2022 Dakar. All our teams are happy to help you out in the preparation of your project, and now it's all up to you.
December 12, 2000. More than a month after the votes are cast, Americans finally know who their next president will be. Republican George W. Bush becomes president-elect after a divided U.S. Supreme Court effectively halts recounts in Florida's contested presidential vote tally. Democrat Al Gore, who briefly conceded to Bush back on election night until the race became just too close to call.
Just moments ago, I spoke with George W. Bush and congratulated him on becoming the 43rd President of the United States. And I promised him that I wouldn't call him back this time. I offered to meet with him as soon as possible so that we can start to heal the divisions of the campaign and the contest through which we've just passed.
Bush promises to live up to his campaign pledge of being a uniter, not a divider, in the White House.
I was not elected to serve one party, but to serve one nation. The President of the United States is the President of every single American, of every race and every background. Whether you voted for me or not, I will do my best to serve your interests, and I will work to earn your respect.
While more Americans voted for Gore, the High Court's ruling gives Bush the edge in the Electoral College that actually picks the president. More than a month later, Bush takes office as the second son of a president to serve in the White House himself. Today in history, December 12th. Ed Donahue, The Associated Press.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Martin and I've created the Festive Mini Electric. So I started the Festive Mini project as a bit of fun really, and people loved it, and last year through lockdown I decided to turn it into a fundraising effort and raise lots of money for charity. My mother unfortunately suffers from multiple sclerosis, which is why I'm supporting the MS Trust. And I also met a young boy called Marcus who suffers from Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And when I saw him and I showed him the lights, his face lit up. As well as the MS Trust and Duchenne UK, I've decided to support Alzheimer's Society because it's a charity that is still very close to my heart. Last year I managed to raise £5,000, just over, and this year I would absolutely love to raise over £50,000. If you would like to see me and the Festive Mini in other locations, if you have a look on the website, festivemini.com, you'll see a calendar with all the locations and the dates. And of course, please don't forget to donate.
You know JBay, when I think of it, I think of the framebosch firstly. I just smell it. And then I just think of that wall. It just stretches ahead of you endlessly. And you're just driving that high line across the face, and that wall is just stretching and it's feathering and it's endless.
Surfing supers every day, you definitely take it for granted. Sometimes you just get these special swells that just roll up the coast and sort of gives you like a reality check on how good supers actually is.
We started the Super Trial 2014 with WSL coming back to town with the JBay Open, and we wanted to make sure that we get some local talent in the mix there during the Open. So the local JBay club hosted an event, just a quick 4 or 5 hour event, and yeah, we always try and make sure there's good waves in the mix, and yeah, get the guys a chance to earn some dollars, number one, during the Open, and some camera time.
Being a JBay local and winning the event before, you know, there was definitely no holding back this year. I knew that there was going to be a couple guys that would do really well out at supers. You know, a couple guys like Dale Staples, Matt McGillivray, Stephen Sawyer, you know, they're all locals out there, and local knowledge definitely pays off. There were also a couple guys that are coming through the ranks that were also, you know, going to be huge threats out there. And a couple top contenders on the QS that were also in the Super Trial, such as Beric de Vries, Mikey February, David van Zyl. Yeah, those guys are really good competitors, and they surf JBay really well.
With the selection, which is I think quite critical, every year we're trying to look at top guys in the mix. So the youngsters trying to compete on the QS to make it onto the CT, obviously. So the young, hungry guys are fighting it out. Then we try and mix it up with some older guys, you know, the Emslys and the Deans. Also, you know, make sure that the younger guys are actually up to scratch. You know, compare them to the old dogs, you know, type of thing.
As we went into the finals, we saw some of the biggest sets roll in for the day, and yeah, we knew we were going to be in for a good final. So in the beginning of the final, Dale dropped a huge score and got a 9. So I knew straight from the get-go that, you know, I needed to drop a good score, and yeah, from that moment on, I sort of got we got caught sitting too far up the point, and kind of just got a couple mid-range scores, a couple 6s, and then Dale dropped another 9. So we knew that we were in combination situation and we needed 2 perfect scores to win the event. So towards the end of the final, I knew we needed 2 perfect waves in order to win the contest, and I just decided to enjoy supers with 3 other people out, and just decided to have some fun. And yeah, this wave came through and I just knew it was going to be so perfect, and I think it was in around the last minute of the heat, and yeah, I just took off and claimed it before the barrel, and yeah, I just knew it was going to be such a perfect wave, and yeah, I just decided to have fun. And yeah, I was really stoked because that wave put me up into second, and even though I didn't win the contest, it was still such a great event, and you know, one that I'll remember forever. So after the contest, I saw the magnitude and the devastation caused by the storm that brought the swell. It puts it all into perspective and brings you back to reality. Just all the people that have helped me along the way and all the things that have contributed to the Super Trial.
First time I came here was 2 years ago, and I didn't really have any expectations. I was still kind of young and I was just excited to come here.
Had probably 3-4 hours sleep and woke up and just was freaking out. Just wanted to see everything, just wanted to see what was going on, and yeah, just to come around and just see, the point. It was such a, I guess, it was such a shock. From where I'm from, the points are they've got more angle to it, where JBay is it runs literally just along the rocks.
I came in really late at night and I'd seen it on the movies and stuff, like the wave and that, but I'd never been here, and so I had high expectations of what it was going to be like. But yeah, when I woke up that next morning and it was pumping, it was just so much better than I ever thought, and yeah, it's just blew me away with how perfect the wave is and how fast it is, but you can make it.
For me, it's one of my favourite places to come, each and every year. You come here and firstly the people are just so nice, and everyone's just so relaxed here. It's you go to other places around the world and other tour stops and it's just hectic. But here it just feels like everyone's relaxed. Everyone's just here for a good time, and everyone's on the same wavelength. They surf all day, maybe have a couple of beers in the afternoon.
The WSL events have a substantial impact on towns across the world. There's 11 WSL events every year, and it's bringing thousands and thousands of people into the community. I mean, I've seen every day thousands and thousands of people on the beach, even during work days. Thousands of people have come up to spend their holidays here. Not just pros are getting a rental accommodation here. I mean, I've had people from Cape Town and Durban and Joburg. They've all come with their children to see this event, to see Jordy Smith hopefully win, to see John Florence, to see the best surfers in the world. And some people, they don't even really know that much about surfing, but they just want to be around the groove. Jordy having that perfect heat on Mandela Day, that was just so emotional, and it was so amazing to watch. And just the way he did it, so effortlessly. Jordy has this effortlessness, super powerful, super, it's like controlled, slow motion aggression. But he's moving fast, but he's got it under control, and he just can sense the wave, that he's got all this time in the world, and doesn't he has to look for the right position. It's like he waits for the wave to come to him, and that's a gift too. I mean, that one day when there was a rotator, the shock, the stoppage, it felt like that day was 100 hours long. It was insane. And all the pros were stoked, and everyone here, I think, just, they connect with JBay. It's not just like another stop on the tour. They come here, they enjoy the people, they love the restaurants, they love the wave, and it's like when people walk away from here, they take a piece of JBay with them.
Left and
The ocean has been the biggest part of my life, for sure. I mean, surfing initially, a lot of diving, and then it was just a natural progression to get into fishing. I mean, fishing was a means of fun, and then it became a lifestyle to make money.
Actually, Walter, he was someone I grew up with, looking up to out at Super Tubes. He was one of the main locals in the lineup, and you know, he was a very good surfer out at Supers, and yeah, I had a lot of respect for him, and sort of grew up throughout my youth just, you know, watching him surf, and he used to take me surfing, and yeah, basically through that I got to know Ashley.
Did a lot of surfing first, and then started fishing just for fun. We were young, you know, 18, 19. It was good. Allowed us to eat, drink beer, do whatever we wanted to do. It was fun. And then somewhere down the line, I just started doing it more and more and more and more. Just kept surfing in between. We always got good waves and loved the place. Grew up in this area, and we just used to chase waves, and then the fishing was a means of just surviving. And then it got bigger, the business. I got into going out in the Crom River. There were boats going out there. Jumped on those boats. There were longer trips, staying at sea a bit longer. And then it ended up becoming a massive industry with big freezer boats.
So there was like a black gold rush, they called it, back in the sort of mid-80s. When everything that floated came and tried to catch squid off Jeffreys Bay.
The lifestyle became more like 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off, which was great. I'd make money, I'd come home, I'd surf for a week, go to sea. And then we'd have long periods where it'd be bad weather, and obviously it was brilliant for us, because when the bad weather was there, I'd be at home and I'd have great waves. And then now it's grown to the industries, we have not a full-time all year thing. We get 6 months a year, 5-6 months a year off, 4-5 months. And that allows me to travel and surf, as well as fish when I'm here. So yeah, it's been a brilliant journey here, and I really enjoyed it.
You know, you look at a lot of our top skippers and that here, and a lot of the top operators that came down here, they come from a background of, they were either fishing commercially, line fishing on the Natal coast. A lot of the surfers come into this industry as skippers, etc., because they can read the conditions in the oceans, and they're kind of in tune with the conditions and the weather, and they have an affinity to the ocean. It's what they do, it's what they know, and although it's a tough life, a lot of them have adapted to being skippers on boats, etc., etc.
Myself and Ash, we went for a surf, and Ash invited me onto his chocker boat. So yeah, the next morning we headed out super early. The NSRI was kind enough to give us a lift out to his vessel. We jumped on board. You know, it was quite a shock to see this giant vessel just sitting out in the bay. Usually you see it far out to sea. We hopped on, and yeah, once we got into it, you know, we went up to Ashley's cabin. Ash told us all about his instruments and how we used the fish finder to, you know, find the chocker, and yeah, he showed us all the ropes and how it could be done. And we found a patch of chocker, and we anchored the boat on the chocker, and he honked his horn on his boat, and all the crew came out from under the deck, and yeah, we started chocker fishing, and he got his line out, and he showed me how to obviously drop the line down with the chocker lures and reel it up once you feel like a little bit of a tug by the chocker. So yeah, it was very interesting, and it's definitely a technique that takes time to acquire. But yeah, once you got it, it was really cool.
The fishing industry it definitely affects this town. I mean, it looks after a lot of communities, broad-based, from the owners to the skippers to the crew.
It's a huge industry. It's a R500 million a year fishery, of which I'm saying 150 to 200 million rands worth of wages gets pumped into the greater Kruger area.
It's the backbone as far as I'm concerned. Without it, Jeffreys Bay wouldn't be Jeffreys Bay.
Once the holiday makers are out of town and, you know, the JBay Open's finished and all the surfing contests have gone and left, the chocker fishing industry is sort of what keeps JBay alive. So today I'm here with Johan Porti-Porchita, and yeah, we're about to go hit some trails. I'm rather nervous because he's a lot more experienced rider than what I am.
I've been riding for around 17 years now. I ride professionally, 4-time South African champion, and I just love shredding bikes. What I love about riding is just how free it makes you feel. You can get away from traffic in the city and everything, and you can just go into the woods, into the mountains, and you can just be free, your own time, your own thoughts, and just hit some trails. You know, a lot of people get caught up in their everyday lives, going to the office, going back home, etc., etc., and yeah, you can just come and live your adventure. I mean, I myself, I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, so I like going fast, you know, doing the odd daring thing here and there, and that's what I love about mountain biking.
So some mornings you wake up in Jeffreys Bay and you're absolutely frothing to go for a surf. And we got down to the beach today, myself and Potty, and yeah, the waves just looked below par and average, so yeah, we decided to pack up the bikes and jump in the car and head down the road and hit some trails.
Yeah, the Eastern Cape, Jeffreys Bay and surroundings, you know, it's such a diverse place to do sports, adventure sports.
It's surrounded by beautiful mountains, terrain and natural beauty, you know, perfect for leaning to an active lifestyle.
Yeah, the trails here in George is just amazing. You got such a variety of different trails, jumps, rock gardens, and it's one of the few places in South Africa to still have really natural, sort of untouched trails. And yeah, it's just so much fun. You got trees, you got open spaces. You could ride for a week and not ride the same trail. When I was younger, I was always looking up to these extreme sports guys, you know, and you just want to be like that when you grow up. And you obviously realize there's more to it than just the rock star side of it. There's traveling, there's getting injured, there's being away from home for a long time. And I think it's really important to stay grounded. You know, it doesn't matter how good you get in these sports, whether it be surfing, whether it be mountain biking, it can humble you pretty quickly. The Eastern Cape, JBay and surroundings, you know, it's such a diverse place to do sports, adventure sports. I mean, you got one of the best waves in the world, and then down the road you got world-class trails to ride at. And it's just, if you want to live your sporting dream, I guess it doesn't get much better than this.
Surfing when you're sitting out there on your own, you know, and you haven't had a wave, and you're sitting out there and you look down below and the water's nice and clean, and you see a few fish there, you know, and you get so stoked about that. And it's like it's being out there on your own, you know, and it's up to you you just feel that it's so good out there. And then when a wave comes up and you catch it, and all the youngsters shouting, "Aye, cool, Hansie, that's a good one," and they're all whistling, you know, and things like that, you know. That gives you a lot of pleasure. But coaching gives me more pleasure, because it's just something that now I'm trying to pass off some of my knowledge that I have of developing somebody else into being a better surfer, and most likely becoming a South African champion and things like that. That's the pleasure that I get out of it.
kids in JBay, they're so privileged to grow up here, you know, like we were discussing the other day, that compared to Cape Town or Durban or anything, it's relatively safe still. You don't need to take your bag to the beach and worry about your bag. And I mean, the waves are all in walking distance. So 90% of the kids, they just walk everywhere. They go surfing and that's it, you know. It's just, I mean, compared to Cape Town or Durban, where the cities and where the mums are going to take off work to take you to the beach and make sure you're okay and everything. So they're really privileged, you know. And plus, well, all the breaks are close together. It's really it's a blessing for them, you know.
Growing up in surfing, I think, you know, Jeffreys Bay sort of made me who I am today. Just being by the coast and being by such a good wave, you know, it was inevitable that I was gonna, you know, become a surfer, and I think that sort of lent quite a bit to the person that I am today. Is just having such a good wave like right on your doorstep and running down and going for a surf every day. I think that sort of aided in the fact to become sort of the surfer beach boy that I am today.
Yeah, the kids, they nuts, man. They live, eat, breathe surfing. The parents, especially the township kids, the mothers come in and they tell us that how stoked they are that the kids are surfing, because the kids go to school, then they surf, and they surf 4 or 5 hours, and they finish in the evenings, you know. Then there's no time to run around in the streets and things, and that's what the parents are very, very happy about. They obsessed with surfing. It's, you know, that's their life.
The ocean has taught me many things in life, and I think one of the biggest things that the ocean has taught me is just to respect Mother Nature and, you know, never take it as sort of I'm in control, you know, because as soon as you feel like, you know, you're better than the ocean will always teach you a lesson. And it's something that's always humbled me in a sense. You know, if you get too ahead of yourself, it'll always bring you back. You know, if you say, oh, I want to go charge that wave and try to get the biggest barrel and, you know, go deeper than anyone else, it'll always sort of put you back in line and teach you that, you know, Mother Nature always has control over you.
I can remember my first time coming to JBay absolutely vividly, like it happened yesterday. We were driving to Cape Town on the way to the SA Champs, my first SA Champs in 1968. And my dad had a Jeep Wagoneer, this green Wagoneer. We had all these boards on top, and we drove all the way down here. And we got here in the evening. We stayed at the Beach Hotel. We woke up early that morning, the next morning, and we drove down to the point. There was like a little campground on the point. And we drove down to the point. There was no one there, no one in the campground, just us. We drove through, and we stopped. We ran through the campground and we jumped out, and we looked at the surf, and it was perfection. 4 to 6 feet, flawless, the best waves that any of us had ever seen. And we looked at this and went, wow, this is unbelievable. We got our boards, we ran across the rocks, and we went out there and we surfed for 3 hours, just the two of us as the sun rose up, boiled up through the Indian Ocean.
So not even 70 years ago, Jeffreys Bay was just a small fishing village. And as the word spread that there was this incredible wave in Jeffreys Bay, surfers slowly started to inhabit and come to Jeffreys Bay. And yeah, basically from then the town sort of grew and grew and grew, and it is what it is today as this iconic surfing town with one of the best waves in the world.
Even though the wave here is about maybe 1.5 k's when it's really good, from Boneyards all the way to Point. So it's like a narrow area, small area. The impact of this area is felt in every home in this town.
JBay has always been this small, closely knit town, and you know, when I was growing up here, there was no malls, there was, you know, a lot less townhouses, and basically over the years there's been an extreme growth and development in the town. I think Jeffreys Bay was one of the fastest growing towns in South Africa. It's sort of starting to become like, I wouldn't say a little city, but it's starting to become a lot more inhabited than it was before, and a lot more people are attracted to JBay, and I would say a lot more people have sort of, you know, moved to JBay to live here, whereas before it was more just like a holiday town where, you know, you come down and watch the JBay Open or come on holiday. So that's sort of slowly changing and becoming more of like a place to actually live and work and raise a family. So. Ever since, you know, I've grown up surfing in Jeffreys Bay, there's always been that sense of local camaraderie and, you know, good manners in the lineup. You know, over the past years it has been rapidly growing and sort of started to lose its small town essence. And I find the sort of the surfing culture and the fishing industry, which has become a lot more commercialized, has sort of kept the town's close-knit, small town feel together.
Whether you surf or whether you don't surf, the impact is profound. And back in the day when we used to come here, surfers weren't accorded that much respect, you know, drugs, long hair, layabouts, don't want to work, just want to go surf. And yeah, we just wanted to go surfing. But surf has built this place. And many people in this town realize it. Some people don't. They think what they do is not connected with surf. Every single person in this town, no matter what they do, are ultimately drawing their income from surf. And it shows this amazing power of surf.
expectations. Angelique's is really good.
Hello.
So we're just around
arriving at the African Perfection. Here's where we're staying for the next 2 nights. And it's the Aloe again, which has like this communal area upstairs, a really nice pool table game, which Chloe's so excited to have, and Angelique already found a cat.
So this is our room. The girls get a bunk bed and I get the big double bed. Really nice and spacious. This is the game room. They have pool and soccer game. We are in the shared area that has a kitchen and a TV and a living room. Game.
We're going to discover a beautiful waterfall. What I'm expecting it to be is going to be like a waterfall with a zip line going into a lagoon. That's what I think it's going to be. JBay definitely needs to try the ski nest. Right now they're having a special night and it's like Monday night curry night. And so you go and you weigh your food and then so you pay for what you eat. And it looks delicious. Really good.
So here is where you can go and see some like dolphins and whales watching. So that's quite cool. You can go there. Here is the shop store. They have Roxy and a whole bunch of different surfing stores.
It's
right
called
here.
Surf Village.
So lots of surf shops and everything you can do for surfing.
And they have surf camps and everything down here. So as you can see, it's a really kind of small little area, but it has a lot to offer in just a small little area with shops and inns. There's inns everywhere all along the coast. All right, off we go for a day in Jeffreys Bay. We're gonna go experience the Shell Museum. That's really a big highlight to go see if you're here. And we're also going to maybe hit up some of the stores because we haven't seen all of them, and as girls, we've got to go see all the options first, right? So that's what we're gonna do. So first stop before we hit the Shell Museum is we're gonna go check out and see if we see any of the surfers, because where we're staying is kind of shared accommodations and they're out here surfing, so we can see, and we're gonna see if we can spot any of those dolphins that we're looking for too. Let's see. Chloe, can you see really good with your binoculars? Sort of? Is it them?
What?
Is it them?
I don't think so.
No? Watch this, girls. See this big wave coming at her? Do you think she's gonna hit it? Here she goes. She's starting to paddle. And oh, she missed it. Oh. Here comes another big wave. I think she's gonna try and ride this one. Here she goes. Paddles, 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 and she's up. Yay, she did it. So here we bumped into this guy here, JJ, and JJ, he's going to give us a personal tour, and so it's not something that's like mandatory that he has to do, but he's doing that, and he does that for most visitors coming here, and then that way you get to learn about all the different shells and everything that it has to offer.
This is our Jeffreys Bay shells. These are all the shells that have been picked up here on our Jeffreys Bay coast. But then, because we call it the Jeffreys Bay shells, it doesn't necessarily mean that these shells, you won't find them anywhere else in the world. You might find maybe one or two of these shells along your eastern coast of South Africa. So basically your warm waters, you might find maybe 1 or 2 of the Jeffreys Bay shells along those coasts there. This shell right here, that I've got today, we call it a paper nautilus shell. The thing is, you see with that shell, it's a very soft shell, it's very delicate, it breaks very easy. Now right over here, I've got this sample, you can take it there, man.
Want to feel it, girls?
Yeah, I've got a sample there for you guys to feel how soft the shell is. And I've got a picture here of how it looks. This is how the animal looks with the shell still intact with the animal. They come from the octopus family.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
The mouth of the whale?
Yeah. So it's just a small piece from that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just a small piece from that. You see, what happens is the whales use that to filter the food that they're gonna be eating. So what happens is when it's time for a whale to feed, it would swallow like these gallons of liters of water, right?
Yeah.
And then whatever comes in with the water gets filtered or gets stuck in those hairs on that thing there. And then that's what the whale is gonna be eating for the time being there.
So which ones are they, girls, that we were supposed to remember? Those red berry shells. Okay.
Yeah. And then we've got this one right here. The world record-sized shell for Jeffreys Bay.
So this is the biggest shell they found in Jeffreys Bay.
Yeah, so they call it the big shell of Jeffreys Bay.
Yeah.
It's the biggest one they've found so far. Here. So there you go. That is so cool.
There's a animal, there's a dog, there's more mouse.
That is so neat.
Cool facts about seahorses is that when they lay their eggs, the female lays the eggs in the husband or the male, because the male has a pouch, almost like a kangaroo. So the male keeps it for about 40 to 45 days, right? And apparently they're very playful, like the little babies. They don't eat anything that's already dead, so it has to be alive.
And what was it saying about, like, it's strange looking? It looks like a pony. It's got breasts like a pigeon, a tail like a monkey, eyes of a chameleon.
I was the one to judge. You said you had enough, and that you really wanna be with me. What you get is more than what you see. At first you struck me like any other girl that I could find. When you looked me in the eyes, I knew that this was right. You're a pretty girl with a pretty name, but I'm pretty sure that you're not the same. Feels like you read my mind, and there's more than meets the eye. With you, with you, with you, oh, with you, with you, with you, oh. I was the one to judge. You said you had enough, and that you really wanna be with me. What you get is more than what you see. At first you struck me like,
yeah.
We are now officially done our first lesson of surfing in Jeffreys Bay.
pretty girl with a pretty name, but I'm
Now having lunch at the in-food restaurant.
and there's more than meets the eye.
Shopping. We love shopping.
That you're not the same. Feels like you read my mind, and there's more than meets the eye.
I thought it'd be really cool to show you guys where we're staying because it's kind of unique. It has a really nice atmosphere here, and it's a co-sharing home. So here, let's go on a quick tour. So when you come in, this is what the house looks like, and Julia's there. She's going to show us. It has like the whole upstairs unit and everything. So let's start by showing our rooms, I guess, where we're staying.
So this is like where you come in, there's rooms. These are our rooms. Us girls. And this one's my parents.
Yeah. So the room's like huge and spacious.
So like a small kitchen, bathroom,
Yeah.
nice bed, and it leads outside, which is really nice. We have a little nice sitting area.
Uh-huh.
And it goes up to this like relax area.
Yeah, so everything's shared. So everyone has access to this facility and space. Here they have a like hammock in the far corner, and it looks like here you can have bonfires and just a nice evening of sitting. So let's go back around. It's definitely like Jeffreys Bay that you get all the surfers, so all the surfers are here. Angelique, do you want to show me your room really fast? Yeah. Okay, show me. We'll go back over here and then I'll show you upstairs. Here they have a zone where you can like share books, leave books. And then this is the girls' room. Hopefully it's not too messy. Looks good. So they get their own bed here, and then they've got a whole bunk bed set up and their own bathroom. So that's pretty cool. And then let's go upstairs and show them upstairs.
Okay, so when you come up here, first you have your kitchen, like this. It's a nice big kitchen. It's very organized, so you know where everything is.
Yeah, they did a good job at that. They put like all the different signs for everything, so you know where everything goes.
Yeah, like this little sink here. Then each room gets their own cabinet with their label on it. So shared fridges. It's nice and big.
Fridges, and then the dishes area over there.
And right here, it's the sharing cupboard. So everyone puts whatever they want to share in there.
That's cool.
Or they want to leave. You have this like sitting area.
It's really well like made up, so there's like this whole space there.
Yeah. Sitting area, there's some games, which is fun to do. Then you have like your lounge area,
This is smart for the young kids. They even put like Legos and stuff. I thought that was really just brilliant. And then there's even sand toys. I don't know if you guys caught on to that. And then all the games, like Julia said. They have the most comfiest couches, don't they?
Yeah, this one's like so comfortable.
So this is the whole area, and then
you have pool and a cruise boat.
that's the coolest thing ever, isn't it?
Then you have a nice view of the ocean.
That is phenomenal. This is just like amazing. And then a sitting area out here, and then yeah, the most beautiful view of the ocean.
Thanks for watching our tour of Jeffreys Bay, South Africa. Stay tuned for our next episode on Naisna on the Garden Room. Please subscribe and give us a big thumbs up. Bye!
Nie bang vir die dood, maar bang om nie te lewe nie. Die touw is so hoog. Ek stap maar ek bewe nie, want jy is vas aan my. Ek kyk nie af nie. Die heelal is groot, net een van jou vir my gemaak, net een van 'n soort. Ons siele het mekaar geraak, ek weet ek het jou reeds, maar ek sal aanhou alles gee. Hoe begin ek om vir jou te sê hoe ek hier binne my voel? Hoe sê ek wat ek bedoel? Jou liefde verswam my, kan my as net nie langer op hou en die water voel. Dis meer as net 'n gevoel. My lewe is nou een met jou en niks is te veel. Die einde kom so bitter gauw, die seer het geleer. Hande vas, druk ons net deur. Hoe begin ek om vir jou te sê hoe ek hier binne my voel? Hoe sê ek wat ek bedoel? Jou liefde verswam. Meer as net 'n gevoel, jou liefde verswam my. Jy dra my altyd en maak seker dat ek voor bly. Ek wil net meer van jou hê, verspoel my. Hey, verspoel my. Begin ek om vir jou te sê hoe ek hier binne my voel? Hoe sê ek wat ek bedoel? Jou liefde verswam, verswam my. Kan my as net nie langer op hou en die water voel. Dis meer as net 'n gevoel. Jou liefde verswam my. Jy dra my altyd en maak seker dat ek voor bly. Ek wil net meer van jou hê.
Welcome back in our studio, and in today's news...